when I left Ilorin, I went back to Ibadan, and then afterwards I moved to Abuja. Now, Abuja is a different type of city completely, right? It has some of its chaotic parts, but it's a different type of city. It's quite calm, it's quite mellow. And because at the time, I was privately employed, I was self-employed. I had my business with some other partners. We would wake up at any time. Traffic wasn't the craziest thing to worry about. We would just live our life, and it was mellow. Things were going well. You would progress. There was so much around us to motivate us, but you wouldn't test the limit of what you are capable of. After a little bit over a year, almost 2 years, I moved from Abuja and I moved to Lagos. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. It's like game
Life
on.
started.
Yeah, game on. Yeah.
Bro, my first month in Lagos, I was like a zombie. So I moved to Lagos because I got a job with the bank at the time. All right. And first day of work, I was late. This was because I did not understand what Lagos traffic meant. Every single time I had been in Lagos, I'd never been in public transport. I've always been driven around.
For anyone who doesn't really know Lagos, let me put this traffic situation into perspective, because I had it at the back of my mind. In Lagos, a 10 minutes drive on a normal day without traffic can take you 3 hours drive. Like,
Correct.
the same distance, travel it at night. I experimented with this actually. Middle of night,
Yep.
like travel the distance, 10 minutes. During the day, especially the peak period or like the rush hour,
3 hours.
3 hours, I bet you.
Yeah, it's mental. And that was exactly the experience. But I didn't picture this. We were supposed to resume at 8. We had like this big welcome event. The CEO was going to be there. I think the group CEO was going to be there. It's big, right? And I thought, well, if it's starting at 8 and I leave the house at 6:30, I'm still good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was late, bro. Like, but thankfully, because typical Nigerian way, I was late, but I wasn't late because it started, I think, around 9 instead of 8. But Lord of Mercy, I think it even started later than 9. But Lord of Mercy, I was like, this is how my life would be if I continue to do that. And I know that this is a job. I'm not self-employed anymore. I actually owe my employer being at work at the stipulated time. How am I going to deal with this? Now I started waking up at 3 o'clock, 3:30 at night, so that I'm out of the house by 4:30. But when I'm out of the house by 4:30, I'm already at the office in 20 minutes. And then I'll continue sleeping there. That was my first 1 to 2 months in Lagos. I was like a zombie because when I'm going back home as well, it's rush. It's not exactly rush hour because I was staying in the office until like 8 or 9, but there's still a lot of traffic. And this takes me like sometimes I leave the office at 8 or 9. I get home at 12 midnight. And then I'll quickly eat. And then I was sleeping like 3 hours a day. I was like a zombie. I was living on coffee. I lost so much weight.
You can't be fat in Lagos, bro.
Bro. But I tested that limit and I at least recognized that I'm capable of doing that if that is what is needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if this is what is needed, I can do it. I've done it for like 2 months before I then moved a lot closer to work. And then when I moved to the island, when I got posted to the island for work, I also moved to VI. And this is one thing that I was saying about that experience of choosing when to experience the chaos. I've always been privileged such that when I moved to the island, for example, I could get a place, like I had somewhere to stay on the island. So I didn't have to do this crossing every day. That would have made my life a living hell. But I can imagine if you do that every day and you have no choice on that, like there's no opportunity for you to change that.
Yeah, that would be quite challenging.
You'll be going mad, and that, I think that's what I needed to put that out, that if you enjoyed the chaos, because the moment you were experiencing it, it was almost by choice.
Yeah.
Not exactly all the time, but most of the time it was by choice.
Yeah.
And that's something that I
that
miss it
that
from
makes
that
a
perspective.
difference. Actually,
But
it makes a huge difference.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I also feel the pain of people that it's absolutely not by
Imagine
choice,
having
it's by
to live in
necessity. Then it's complete madness.
in the middle
Yeah,
of
I
like
have to say.
Agege or something, like, maybe probably you are also in your
Mental.
house and you are still hearing like horn sound and car sound, like that would be, I mean, there are residential sites, I mean, of Agege and all, but like if you have to live in the middle or in the center of the commercial side, you would really be angry every
Mental,
time.
yeah.
And a lot of these bus commercial drivers, that's why they are always mad. They are always pissed because it's in their head. It's just this like overwhelming stimulation in the brain, and you have to be a little mad in Lagos, to be honest.
I realized that I might need to drive, and I made the very conscious decision that I was just not going to drive in Lagos. Bro, if you're on the mainland, especially the mainland, where these yellow bus drivers, the way they move into, I'm like, these guys don't care about their car.
Yeah.
They don't care. So how am I going to deal with that? Now, I don't miss that part for sure, because it also meant that I was in taxis all the time, and it just cost money that didn't make sense to spend. But anyways, yeah. What else do I miss about Nigeria? I think from my side, if you had given me the opportunity to say top 3, it would have been the communal living, food, and maybe a little bit of this chaotic vibe. I do like the way I partied in Nigeria. Let me put it this way. So back in Nigeria, yeah, that's something maybe I would say that I missed, because I think it's also tied to the communal lifestyle. So back in Nigeria, I wasn't really the club type, right? So, and even if we went to a club, it was almost like a squad. We always had like a convoy, and it just felt different. However, we mainly did house parties.
Yeah.
And that's like a completely different story. Yeah. I've tried a few times to throw house parties here in Germany. Didn't play out the right way. Apart from those times when we, could link up back in Stuttgart, when we were still living in Stuttgart, like it was so easy to put together a house party in Nigeria, because, this life that we live, and our parties, apart from house parties as well, wedding parties, these things, I missed it because, bro, every weekend back then, there was a friend of a friend that knew a wedding that we could all go to. Yeah. And the guests did not mind. Yeah. My friend gets invited to a wedding, and my friend that got invited by someone that wasn't even the host, even if I have someone else that would like to join, I've been invited by the person that was invited by the person that was invited, and I'm still inviting people.
They're like, thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. We do it. Like over here, you have to kind of ask if you can bring a +1. That's never part of the question in Nigeria. Like you can,
and it's only a +1 case.
Exactly. So when you're like throwing a party, people are gonna come with people that that you didn't sort of plan for, so you account for that also while planning like the party. And for me, it's even more than that. It's also the part where you dress up for stuff, like I've had all my traditional wears, like my agbada, my native, my lace, my ankara. I've never really had any reason to wear them since I left Nigeria. And it's quite sad because, it's different here actually in the US. I've been able to use it a while, but in Germany, I never touched them. Like there isn't any occasion to, and I miss that, like sort of.
I only touch them when I'm trying to make a statement, Yeah. There was a company event, I think it was in spring or summer. I was in Abuja. Some of these are our formal, traditional ones, so without all the design. So it's really not meant for partying. It's formal, but it's traditional way. And I wore it to, by the way, guys, so I work, the company that I work in, were not a lot of black people there. So when I wore it in, I got comments like, "Oh, you look like a prince."
They call it a suit, actually. I love your suit. When I wear my traditional wears, like, "Oh, this is a nice suit." I'm like, "It's not a suit. This is like."
And I only do it in moments where I feel like I want to make a statement.
Me too, actually.
But you're right, dressing up like that definitely. I miss that. Bro, it was so crazy that my mom liked to throw parties, and we would throw parties that you didn't have to be invited. You just need to walk by and Literally, they see you, they recognize you from the area. Come in, come in, come in.
It's called Mugbomo,
just
actually.
come in.
Like a head
Yeah,
and
exactly.
a show.
Mugbomo branch.
Yeah, a head
Yeah. Exactly. And I remember there was a day we went to play football at the football field, and someone was like, "Hey, Shepatili, hey, like." This guy was literally asking, "Are you guys not throwing any part?" Like it's been a while, and I'm like, it's nice to get all that from some, like just in the community. People just know that they can come celebrate as well with you.
Yeah.
Of course within reasonable limits, but it was always fun to experience that. To be honest.
Yeah.